Hello everyone, it's Robinhood guy. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to explain how you can borrow cash and borrow it at a 2.5% APR rate and basically, buy more crypto on Coinbase. So let me get into why I actually, or how I stumbled upon this hack, or at least I like to call it a hack or somewhat of a genius plan. So at first, when I got into Coinbase and then I started, buying crypto and Coinbase and everything, I noticed that you can borrow cash in Coinbase. So, however, it lets you borrow cash at a 8% APR. So to me, that was like really high. And then I was trying to figure out ways how I can borrow cash for the meantime, because I don't have the cash right now, but I will have it in the future. So I'll borrow it for now and then, purchase more Bitcoin and crypto and so on, because I feel like it's been at a really good dip and I want to purchase it before we started rising back up to the 40K area. So upon my investigation, I was really trying to figure out how can I borrow cash at a very low rate, and that's where this video comes in. Basically, I'm going to explain how I figured out like a cool way to do it, and then how you can do it too. But I just want to emphasize that I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment purposes, and I'm also just showing how this is possible. And if you're interested in doing the same thing, then go for it. But just remember, there's always risk involved when you're borrowing money from anything. But before I get more into the video, make sure you check over my channel. Make sure you subscribe if you like the content that you see. Make sure you hit that like button on this video, add any comments if you have any questions. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so back to Coinbase. So Coinbase now gives you the functionality of borrowing cash. So as you can see here, it says, with your current available Bitcoin balance of 48,000, which is 1.2 Bitcoin, you can borrow up to 19,000 in cash at 8% APR. And then it tells you here, when you borrow from Coinbase, you agree to lock up this Bitcoin as collateral in order to receive your funds. When you pay any money you owe, you'll get some of your Bitcoin collateral back. You can pay it back early without penalty. So there's a couple issues with that. So one of the issues is that your Bitcoin is essentially locked up. So you don't get to sell it or trade it for other stuff while you're in this process of borrowing money. So to me, that was kind of like, oh man, that sucks. You're like really restricted in basically like borrowing cash from Coinbase. Not that it's not that great, but it's just like that restriction to me just was kind of like a no-no. Another thing that really sucks is that with this program, you have to basically pay back the interest of what you're paying, or what you're borrowing. And you have to pay back at certain days. So if you pay it earlier, then it just counts towards the principal. So you're kind of locked into like, certain days that you have to like pay. And you can miss that payment. If you miss the payment, then Coinbase can automatically sell like a certain amount of Bitcoin to pay for whatever you haven't paid. So that's just another thing that sucks. And then of course, the 8% APR is just like a huge interest that you have to pay. And then to me, that was just like, man, like that sparked like the idea of like, what can I do to borrow money now at a very low interest rate and don't have to worry about like all this issues that borrowing cash can come up with from borrowing from Coinbase. So that's where Robinhood came in. So if you don't already have a Robinhood account, or if you've been using Robinhood, then you should be aware that Robinhood allows for margin trading and so on. And then I actually have I think a really good how-to beginners video that explains Robinhood margin in depth, like a whole like complete guide on like what happens. I'll go ahead and link it to this video. I'll also add it into the description if you're interested in that. But anyways, back to this. So as you can see, here is my Robinhood account. I only have 14,000 in here. So I basically moved over almost everything to Coinbase, because I was using Robinhood to buy and sell crypto and everything. But then I quickly realized that you should not be doing that. If anything, I actually created a video and I basically said 5 reasons you should not use Robinhood for crypto. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested in that. But anyway, so with Robinhood, it allows you to borrow cash at a 2.5% APR compared to Coinbase 8%. So that to me was like a big plus. And then not only that, like Robinhood, it's a little bit more flexible with what you can do with margin versus Coinbase. So let me show you. So basically here in my account, I have 100 shares of Coinbase. And that's actually the only thing I have as of right now that I'm holding. So when you think about it in terms of like equity, I have around $24,000. So if I hover over to my account over here, you can see the total market value is basically almost $24,000. So sorry, I misspoke a little bit earlier. So my equity is 14,000, but my total market value is 24,000. So the reason why it's 14,000 in terms of equity and what you see right here is because I actually borrowed around $10,000. So as you can see here, margin used 9,500. I initially borrowed $10,000, but I was able to cut back or decrease my margin used because of some trades and stuff. Anyway, so I basically enabled margin here, and with margin, it's using my Coinbase shares as collateral, my Coinbase shares / any cash that I have as collateral. So as you can see here, if I scroll down, here's my margin investing. It's enabled. This is how much I've borrowed. And this is basically my maintenance, basically saying if my portfolio drops like below this amount, then I'll be issued a margin call, and I'll have about like 3 days to put more money in or sell some stocks or anything to basically increase my portfolio or pay back some of the money that I borrowed. But anyways, as you can see here, it basically shows you margin used 9,500 down here, and then it shows you yearly interest rate 2.5%. And again, that's compared to the Coinbase 8%. So this 2.5% is really low, and it actually was 5% like a while ago, and they actually cut it down. So I think Robinhood, like with all its flaws and everything, I feel like they do have a good margin program, at least based on like the experience that I've had. And the fact that they cut it from 5% to 2.5% is a really big plus. So as you can see here, basically the amount that I haven't paid in interest, or I just started accumulating in interest, is $7.71. And I borrowed this 10,000 initially back here in July 21st. So you can see I borrowed that 10,000 and I moved it over to my checking account. So in what is it, like 8 days now? In 8 days, I've only accumulated like $7.71. So if you do some quick math, that's almost like 70 cents per day that I'm basically paying in interest just for borrowing $10,000. So it would be $250 for like the whole year, which is actually like really good. $250. I mean, if you're already used to stock trading and everything, $250 is like nothing for the most part. But anyway, so let's continue. So let me show you how I did this. So if you're interested in doing the same thing, if you're interested in doing basically using Robinhood and the stocks that you have as collateral to borrow cash, basically what you would need to do is, one, you need to have margin enabled, and not only that, you also need to have basically, let me see here, you need to have this thing called margin spending on. So with margin spending, that allows you to use whatever margin that Robinhood is allowing you to have. They're basically saying that you can also use this money and move it over to your checking account or whatever account that is linked up, which I think it has to be like an ACH account, or at least that type of account. So anyways, if you have margin spending on, then they let you do that. So you can see here, I can transfer from Robinhood to my checking, and I can transfer that spendable money basically, which is the withdrawable cash, 8,618. So this is the remainder of cash that I have left to borrow, by the way. So it wasn't like the total to begin with. So yeah, all in all, I think this is pretty cool that I'm basically using Robinhood's 2.5% to borrow cash and moving it over to my account. And then once it's in my account, I'm able to go ahead and make some trades on my Coinbase account and basically essentially using that money. So all in all, I'm basically borrowing cash from Robinhood at a 2.5% rate, yearly rate, and I'm using that to buy crypto in Coinbase, which I thought was pretty cool. And again, you don't have to borrow cash from Coinbase if you're doing that method. You don't have to worry about an 8% APR. You don't have to worry about your Bitcoin being locked up and everything, and so on. So I thought it was like a pretty cool hack. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're already using margin or if you're a skilled margin trader. I'll put the link to the how to use Robinhood margin video I'll add a link to it here in the video and in the description. So make sure you check that out first. Make sure you understand basically like the risks and stuff with margin and how it works and everything in Robinhood before you go ahead and just turn it on and start using it. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not advising you to do this, but if you are interested in a way of borrowing cash at a low rate, then you can go ahead and use Robinhood. If you're already using Robinhood, you can use Robinhood and you can borrow cash that way, and then you can go ahead and buy Coinbase. So all in all, that's basically like the hack. I consider it a hack, or at least a genius type of play. Somewhat hacking the system, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So make sure you check out the how-to video, which I'll add. I actually have it right here, Robinhood margin explained like I'm 5. This is the one I'm talking about. That basically shows you how to use Robinhood margin. Make sure you check out the 5 reasons you should not use Robinhood for crypto trading, and if you're interested, check out my all-in crypto video, which I recently did not too long ago. And I basically break down why I think crypto can be headed to 100K and the reason why I went all in. And later on, I'll basically make a Coinbase versus Coinbase Pro video and explanation of like the differences and stuff. So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I really hope you guys like this video. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this was pretty cool, or like what are your ways of borrowing cash at a low rate to buy crypto and so on. So that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in